And welcome to Newton High School here at Palmer Field as the Cutting Edge Sports Network presents the College Men's Lacrosse Game of the Week. It's a Region 19 clash between the hosts, Sussex County Skylanders, led by their outstanding coach Steve Manito, coming in with a record 1-2 as they take on the West Virginia University Potomac State College Men's Lacrosse team, led by their head coach Jacob Morris. They come in with a record of 1-1, and they also participate in the Region 19 division of the NJCAA. Good morning, everyone. A Sunday morning here in Newton as we're ready for some outstanding men's lacrosse action. These two teams both evenly matched. They both have similar games. Sussex has a 17-5 loss to Del Tech, as Potomac State, the Catamounts, had a 22-7 loss to Del Tech. Friday night, on the road, the Catamounts from West Virginia Potomac State posted an 11-8 win over Williamson Trade, and Sussex's lone win is a 9-8 win over Williamson Trade. So we want to thank the Cutting Edge Sports Network for sponsoring this game, as well as Arthur J. Gallagher for all your insurance needs, located over there on Newton Sparta Road. And speaking of Arthur J. Gallagher, you're bringing my partner, George Moorville from Arthur J. Gallagher, back in the saddle again and coaching again at Kid City as assistant coach to the great John Lade. As I like to say, George Moorville, the Pied Piper of Sussex County lacrosse, longtime coach at Kid City, assistant at Sparta, and was an outstanding player at Newton in his first incarnation. George, it must be spring because we're talking lacrosse.
Yeah, and this is awesome. Coming back, seeing alma mater, home of the Braves. Now seeing college playing here. It's come full circle.
Well, the ironic thing, I was thinking coming over because you and I were doing the game. You played your games at Newton High School at where the county college is now.
Exactly.
At Don Bosco is then.
Right down to the lake. If you threw it too far over, you went down to the lake.
We'll give you the starting lineups for the Skylanders, who last year had a miracle run to the Region 19 championship. They had the Dirty Dozen. They called themselves 12 guys winning a Region 19 title. Impressive. They lost in the national tournament to Genesee State. They returned 9 players from that team. Their starting lineup, and one of them was the player of the year in the region, Dom Fellini, who not playing this year, maybe coming back next year. We don't know. We'll see. Coach Manito hoping to. But they got some great kids coming back. On the attack, number 1, Jake Cristiano. Number 2, Nolan Waldron. Cristiano from Sparta, Waldron from Kittatinny. And Grant Parker having a great year. He was terrific all region last year. The big lefty from Newton, he's number 13. The middies are Jefferson product Matt Bruno, had a great year last year. Taking the faceoffs and playing midfield be Louis Merlino, also ground ball machine. He had a great career at Pope John. Then rounding out the midfield, John Parisi back playing. He didn't play last year. Played football for the Skylanders. He was a terrific player for Adam Coleman and Harry Shortway over at Vernon. So Parisi, his brothers also were terrific players. His older brother was a great player for Vernon, Kevin Parisi, playing at Utica. Defensively, great long poles they got in this team. Dom Candelaro from Sparta, that terrific program. Blake Mackey, terrific defender from Pope John. And also from Pope John, Mark Vinarski. And in goal, Joe DeSiglia, who last year played midfield and got all region honors. But his natural position is goalie, and Coach Steve Benitez, he's on his way to getting all Region 19 honors. That's his natural position as he's out from Long Island. So for the Catamounts, their starting lineup on the attack, number 2, Christian Darnell, number 17, Gavin Keniston, number 3, Trent Dolly, the midfielders, number 20, Bentley King, number 12, Wiley Thunderhawk, number 9, Nick Schaefer, defenders, long poles, number 99, Brady Crispin, number 1, Mason Bowler, number 15, Cole Burrows, and in goal is number 23, Jacob Ritchie, and their fogo is number 10, Michael London, who is out there right now to take the face-off. As we're about getting underway, junior college and college lacrosse, 15-minute quarters, and you'll see on the other side of the field an 80-second shot clock. And, Coach, you've been around lacrosse a long time. Right out of the box, I'll ask you, do you think high school sports needs the shot clock that college implemented a couple years ago?
I'd like to see it. Offense is what everybody wants to see.
We'll have a push.
And I think a shot clock keeps everybody interested 100% of the time. I don't think we want to go with the same shot clock that the college games or the pros are, but I think it'll help a little bit.
They have to reset the shot clock back to 80. Some veteran officials that we all know down there working this game.
Yeah.
Right now we're down there.
They do a nice job.
Yeah,
too.
they do. So Sussex will have the first possession. Again, what a dream run last year. Coach Steve Manito, one of the best around. Won state titles at Chatham. Was coached at the Division I level at Manhattan College and Mercy College. And
That's just an unforced error. Right
Unforced
there.
error
No
there.
reason to make that pass on anything but a line.
Brady Crispin will bring it up. So the Catamounts stayed over last night in PA by King of Prussia and made the ride up this morning after playing Williamson Trade on Friday night, taking their little northeast trip. The Catamounts, their camp is located in Kaiser, West Virginia. And he was out of bounds, so they'll switch possessions. Trent Jolly with possession. So both of these teams trying to build on wins over Williamson Trade. In Region 19, a very competitive region. You got Union County, who has a win over Sussex, 11-9. You got Del Tech, shot and a goal.
No slide from the other side. Running a 1-4 and set a little pick and no slide.
Wiley Thunderhawk, the freshman from Martinsburg, West Virginia, with the goal. And the Catamounts will take a 1-0 lead at the 13:31 mark of the first quarter.
And that goes back to the unforced error.
Right.
You had control of the ball, you tried to get that first shot, try to get that adrenaline going, say, okay, we can do this.
As we said, Delaware Tech 1-0, but obviously probably the favorites. They haven't played Union yet. They're 6-1 overall, Union 1-2. Mercer 2-2. Brookdale has not yet played a game, as has Ocean, and Sussex 1-2. Battle for the ground ball, and coming out with it is Michael London. Tell me he doesn't have the perfect body for a face-off guy, number 10 there, George.
Absolutely. You're not going to move him, that's for sure.
Low center of gravity.
Like Baptiste, man, he was just a stud.
I am so fortunate I got to see him play in the high school level at Morristown Beard.
Yeah.
And then he went out and had an unbelievable career for Coach Tierney out there at Denver. And I think he's on the national team.
He is, yep.
And a great kid. I was able to talk to him once. Just a real humble guy. Well, that's the state of New Jersey, one of the best in lacrosse. I mean, obviously you got the hotbeds down in Maryland, up by Syracuse and Long Island.
Oh, absolutely.
But New Jersey's not too far behind, George.
No, and when you start with a tiny little school like Mountain Lake's, just
Right.
unbelievable.
Tim Flynn is Steve Manita's father-in-law. Steve's son, Teddy, having a good career, junior at Chatham. Shot and a save made by the goalie, J.T. Lundquist. Now, George, obviously numbers are an issue for both teams. Talk about the fitness level. Again, it sounds like a beating a dead horse, but what they did last year with 12 guys. These guys have to be in shape and hungry.
Well, they definitely have to be in shape, and they also have to keep in mind we got to save our legs. It's got to be all good shots, you know. Don't do wasted.
Save there by Lundquist, the freshman from Limerick, PA. Trying to keep the possession is the long pole, Cole Burrows. He gets rid of it, and they'll go back on the attack. This is Trent Jolly, the freshman from Arkansas. Shot and a goal. Nice low-angle blast there by Christian Darnell, and the Catamounts have a 2-0 lead.
The pole's got to be attacking when that pass is being made. They're kind of sitting back, and anybody at 7 yards, that's one-on-one. Makes it a little tough.
So Darnell with the goal, 2-0 our score. And mentioning that, you know, they don't have a lot of numbers to begin with, Sussex, but Cody Cooper, a very nice player out of Kittatinny, has a broken finger, and Blake Dipple, another nice player from Kittatinny, out with injuries. So that definitely hurts.
That hurts a lot, and it looks like you would change some poles that were midfielders before. Right. You know, that could be a lot on the slides and who's going and when they're going.
So face-off taken here. Merlino going against London in another win. So right now face-offs have been dominated by the Catamounts. Work it back to X. And unforced error there. Sussex will get it back. Here comes the ride from the Catamounts. That could be trouble. coming back to play it on the bounce. It's the Skylanders. And Skylanders will look to go to work. Again, you got to always look for the big lefty, number 13, Grant Parker. Parisi sends it back to X. This is Parker. Got that great lefty shot. Tries to work his way through, pops out of his stick. That'll come back up top.
Just making the wrong throws. You got a midi right there next to him. You don't want to throw it all the way across the field.
Merlino will come off and come on for offense. Kia Boyle out of Pope John. Skylanders trail 2-0. Just under 11 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Thanks for joining us on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Dan Cleary, along with Kid City assistant coach and Sussex County Hall of Famer George Morville. Also want to thank the Arthur J. Gallagher Risk Company that George is a part of. Here comes Parker. Oh, blocked and doesn't go in. Wow.
That was a good shot. Really good shot. Nice. Goalie took that on the heel and was able to stop that.
Trying to clear it and coming back is Parisi.
Got to protect their sticks.
Now, I haven't seen John since he played college. He got bigger, George. He's a big kid.
Yeah.
Chance here for the Skylanders on the run. Dom Candelaro from
Tried to
Sparta.
do a bounce pass there. Not a bad idea.
And looking to clear.
They got big numbers right now. They're up 5-3, 5-3. One more pass.
Shot goes wide. Taking the rip there was Trent Jolly.
He had two open, one in the crease, one on the other opposite side, too.
We'll stay here with the Catamounts. Head coach for the Catamounts, Jacob Morris. Took over the program a couple of years ago, trying to build it up. Shot. Stay here.
I think he's going to handle any of those at that, taking 12 and 15-yard shots. Everything they're doing in tight's working so far.
So up top, patient here, and they're set. Nick Schaefer, bodied up. Gets his hands free, takes a shot, saved by DeSiglia.
That's a good save. They needed that save. Now they got to take control of that ball.
Clear out to Parisi. He'll bring it in, and Sussex will set up. Sussex basically a first-year program. Last year, the program was started by one of your former players, the outstanding Kevin Nissel. Things just didn't work out numbers-wise with everything, but
Yep.
Kevin tried his best and bring in Steve and brought in some terrific players. We said Miller from Jefferson, outstanding goalie, and the great Dom Fellini.
Yeah, I thought I would be seeing Dom. Did he not decide not to play?
I believe that's it. He still has a year eligibility left. Coach
Yep.
Nita said they'd love to have him back whenever he wants.
Yeah, anybody would love to have him.
So on the possession, Nolan Waldron from Kittatinny. Gets off the screens, sends it up top, broken up.
Again, we're forcing passes, which you just don't have to do at this point. They're not putting really hard pressure on.
Sussex has a couple of shots. Nothing. The closest one was the Grant Parker shot that just kind of laid by the goal mouth. Scooping that up is Grant Parker. Parker had a great year, him and Fellini, the big-time scorers for this program. Good poke check from behind by Cole Burrows. And it'll be another turnover. So right now, Sussex under their own worst enemy, George.
Yeah, they're just a step behind right now.
Another chance in a transition with the spin. Pops out loose on the doorstep. Oh, just wide. Gavin Kennison had a great chance there.
Yeah, he did. I think what we're seeing is they pretty much have to tough angle to make that one.
No doubt. And we'll have our first flag of the game. Be a cross check. And heading off for the cross check will be Christian Darnell, the goal scorer. So first special teams opportunity here for the Skylanders. We're on the home Grays.
They could use this right now.
Yeah.
Take 30, 40 seconds off the clock, start your play, and give the D a little break.
George, did you happen to catch any of that Maryland-Virginia game yesterday?
No, I did.
23-12. If you took your head away from the TV for 40 seconds, you missed 4 goals. And what was pretty cool about that, for me, a Jersey guy, fifth-year senior Keegan Kahn from Maryland had 4 goals, but he played at Del Barton.
That's true.
I got to see him play in high school. He had a great career at Villanova, transferred down there. So New Jersey representing on the #1 team in the nation, the Maryland Terrapins. What a great offense. If you liked offense, that was the game to watch.
Absolutely.
If you liked defense, it was cringeworthy. All right,
Force it
Skylanders.
and look to the middle. They got to move the ball a little bit quicker.
I think they're doing what you said, Coach. They're going to run some time before they try to get into this. 45 seconds left on the shot clock. Shot clock is 80. The penalty.
Right, they should get into it right now.
The penalty will
18,
be over.
19 seconds left.
Right. There'll be 20 left on the shot clock when the penalty will expire.
And you can see there hasn't been much movement, so they just had it on keeping it live.
Parisi.
They're going to run it out.
Yep, they run it out. Sussex still has it. So good job out of Catamounts. But
very good job. And there's again, unforced error is going to kill us.
Yeah, after you really don't get anything going on the man up, and then when you get even strength, you still have possession to turn it over. Those are the little things that are driving you nuts as a coach.
Absolutely. And I think we're seeing on both sides that they're not going to try to be intercepting clears. That's where they're getting their legs back, make sure you're in the right place.
Good job defensively, Lou Merlino from Pope John's product. Chris Hoffman last year with the Pope John Lions winning the HWS tournament, beating Hunter and Central.
They had a great team last year. It was really fun to watch them play.
Yes, they were. They could score. They played great defense. Chris Hoffman, the Rutgers product, coach at Pope John's, done a great job of that program. And a timeout's going to be called by Coach Steve Manita with 5:20 to go here in the first quarter. Again, want to thank the Cutting Edge Sports Network for bringing this game to you, and also Arthur J. Gallagher, which George Morville has been a part of. And George, as we know, we've done a lot of games together, and been a lot of lacrosse firsts we've seen over the years. What's it mean to you to see that the county has a lacrosse team?
To me, this was one of those dreams, hoping that we could start the base program and, sooner or later come back to Newton with lacrosse, and then to get it to the community college. And you can see we don't have numbers on either one of these teams, but you got the game here, and once it starts, you know it's going to grow. The kids that can't make that first chance to get to college, they might look at the Sussex County Community College. We've got the first 2 years to build, and that's really what makes the difference. I mean, they have an option.
Right.
They can play right here, get those first 2 years, a great education, and then move forward.
No doubt. And then to bring in a guy like Steve Manita. I mean,
Yeah.
Division I coach, was standing high school coach at Chatham. So I was saying his son Teddy having a good preseason for the Chatham Cougars. They're looking to do some big things statewide. We mentioned his father-in-law is Tim Flynn, the godfather.
Oh, yeah.
Down at Mountain Lakes. So it's a great option, and obviously they picked up football here at Sussex a year ago. Todd Poltazor did a great job with that program. They had a good spring.
75 kids. Think
Incredible.
about that. You got 12 playing lacrosse. You had 75 kids going out for football.
Well, that's what you got. See, the thing on the college level, you got to pick one sometimes because they have spring football and all that.
Yep.
High school level, you can play both. I looked at some of those kids that are playing, like Nick Molinari.
Oh, yeah.
He was a terrific lacrosse player for Justin Meath, who's now back at his alma mater at Roxbury. A lot of those guys could run around with a stick and do some damage.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
All right, out of the timeout, 5:20 to go here in the first quarter. Potomac State, which is part of the West Virginia University system. So they are affiliated with the Mountaineers, but they are called the Catamounts. Or swing it over to the side, Kia Boyle. Back to X. Nolan Waldron. Shot goes through.
All right. And I think that's what they got to do. They got to keep them honest.
We'll stay here. Parker will get there.
Yeah, we got to make a couple opportunities, just ripping the ball, even if it's off cage. Let's start to get them loosened up a little bit.
On the restart, it's Parker. They're going to keep an eye on him, obviously. So dangerous, the big lefty.
Yeah, he is. Great control. And Nolan, on the other side, he's got stud athlete, being able to take those checks, and it doesn't bother him at all.
Matt Bruno, a midfielder, was a long pole last year on that championship team. He played for Scott Reed at Jefferson. Parker gets doubled.
There's the
finds
double.
the
This
open
should be
man.
the shot you want.
There's the rip. Doesn't get through. Kind of trickles through. Taking the rip there with Bruno. Could be a turnover. Nope. Scooping it up. No. Ball's loose. Ground ball. We'll have a whistle. And we'll stay with the Catamounts. Now you look at the kids they got from Pope John, some great players. Blake Mackey, Mark Vinarski, Kia Boyle. You get a kid like Dom Candelaro from Sparta. That's a great program. You know that program well. They have a new head coach, former head coach of Park Regional, Sean Patterson, coaching
Yeah.
there.
A lot of changes this year.
Yeah, we were kind of saying it. Dave Gallucci, who was an assistant for Sussex for about a month when the Newton job came open. And there's a shot high, so he takes over for Newton. Newton's program in great hands with Coach Gallucci. He did a great job at Mount Olive. And, George, when I think of him, I think of the last game played at the old Mount Olive Stadium that you and I did against Sparta in the pouring rain.
Oh, man. and that was beyond pouring rain. That's as wet as I've ever been.
And we were inside.
Yeah, in rain gear.
In rain gear.
They were tearing down the booth.
That's right. And I remember Dave Fellini, was the athletic director, was laying on the floor protecting our electrical wires to make sure no one got electrocuted.
Yeah, he kept bringing the towels in and I said, hey, just remember, come on now, take care of me, Davey.
And I remembered that because Sparta, first off, went to Dover first. The bus driver got lost. They showed up an hour late to the game. Then they played, and then Mount Olive got a big win over a good Sparta team.
Yeah, that was considered a big upset.
Yes, it was.
Mount Olive, they've done a great job. They really have.
Chris Blau there now, who did a nice job at Roxbury.
And we're going to open up with them this year, first game. We'll find out right away what we got.
Kidd City moving up to the RIS division, correct?
Yes.
Long-time member of the Pooley, but now up in the RISC. I mean, they don't like to say that anymore, George, because I remember when you first started, you had the A, B, and C levels. They don't use those words anymore.
No,
but you know who's A, who's B by the divisions they're in.
Absolutely.
Like Mountain Lakes and Delbarton are not in the C division. So 2:30 to go in the opening quarter after two early goals. Not much offense since. Catamounts with the 2-0 lead.
And there's been turnovers both sides, a lot of unforced turnovers. So they'll settle in possibly in the second.
This is Parisi. Big guy tries to work his way through. He takes a shot, broken up. And grabbing that is Brady Crispin.
The Poles are definitely taking the shots away from these guys. They aren't being able to get their arms extended, making a nice job of having them shorten up. When you see those bounce shots go straight down and straight up, you know someone's hit that bottom end stick.
No doubt. We're under 2 minutes to go here in the opening quarter, live on the Cutting Edge Sport Network. And I want to thank Matt Gizzi. You check out their website, Instagram, and all that good stuff.
On the doorstep there.
Oh, no chance there. That's Gavin Kennison with the goal. Remember, Gavin had one on the doorstep before and just missed it? Well, he just made up for it.
Yeah, this time he went just with instinct. No fake, just went low left.
So 3-0 with 1:39 to go here in the first quarter. A good quarter for the visiting Catamounts, making their North Jersey or Northeast United States trip over at Williamson Trade on Friday. Kids get to see the Garden State. And I'm sure when they came here, they're like, this looks like West Virginia. There's mountains.
Yeah.
Everyone outside of the area thinks New Jersey's the Sopranos.
They both work.
Yes, they do. Absolutely. If all you know of New Jersey is flying into Newark Airport, you're not going to have the best idea of New Jersey. That's a little frustration there on Sussex at their face-off guy in London has won the majority. So the Catamounts will go to work. Goal scorers are Wiley Thunderhawk, Christian Darnell, and then the last goal scored by Gavin Keniston. And that's our 3-0 lead with 1:20 to go here in the opening quarter. You're live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Dan Cleary with George Moore. Low angle shot, side of the net.
Side.
Nice shot there taken by Bentley King. Get a little bit of a ride here by the Catamounts. Sussex will get it over. Could be a chance
They
here.
got numbers.
Dom Candelaro gives it up, and that's going to be broken up by Brady Chrisman.
Yeah. That no look pass didn't work. There was nobody there.
Low and clear by Chrisman.
Going back the other way.
Sussex plenty of time with 50 seconds to go. This is Blake Mackey. Sussex brings it up, pops out of the stick. Turnover, can they turn this into a goal? They're going to pull it back and hold for one.
Yeah, and it's smart. 30 seconds left, set it up, see what you can do.
Well, Kennison's been terrific around the goal area. They pick him up there. On the doorstep, one-timer goes high, looking for Nick Schaefer.
You like to see him force one way or the other at that point.
Ball pops loose. Will that stay in? Good ground ball there by Schaefer. Shot taken. And the Catamounts call a timeout with 6 seconds to go. Set up a final shot here in the first quarter. Again, I want to thank the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Check out their Instagram, Facebook, all the social media. A lot of good things on the horizon. Matt Gizzi, a local guy, trying to get things going with the Cutting Edge Sport Network.
There we
George
go.
and I have known Matt for a long time. Kittatinny grad.
Absolutely. We're probably going to do some type of stack. You know, try to close one guy off and pop out.
Again, one thing
I would put a poll immediately on whoever's got the ball at this point. You know, you have to get over that to get through it. So
Sussex next game is not until Sunday, April 3rd here against Hudson Valley. And the Catamounts, they'll play Anne Arundel in Maryland, a terrific junior college program, next Saturday.
got 3 generations of Moorville sitting in front of us right now, which is kind of
yes.
neat.
Just saw your brother Tommy here.
Tommy's the assistant coach for Kittatinny. Ryan was the assistant coach for Kittatinny way back when.
Played in the first Beatty Cup,
Yeah.
which will be coming up April 1st, Newton and Kittatinny. Always a great battle, no matter what status of each program. There was teams where Kittatinny was the big favorite and Newton won in double overtime.
Oh,
There's
yeah.
times when Newton was the big favorite and Kittatinny won.
A lot of emotion there.
Oh, yeah. Your final year coaching Kittatinny, that was one of the best Beatty Cups. You
Was
guys,
one of
you
the
guys
best.
built that lead, and Newton came firing back. I think Grant Parker might have been on that team for Newton.
I think he was, and that was just one of those years that they weren't leaving.
No.
And that's what the Braves have been in every sport you see. I mean,
No
they
doubt.
leave it all on the field. They're a team that is always anxious to get into somebody's face, make it happen. All right, they put the pole on them.
And we're going to have a whistle there, and there's going to be a hold.
Yeah, it definitely was a hold.
And they're
Without
going to end the
possession,
quarter.
though.
So our possessions will end the quarter. So 1 quarter in the books here live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Our score, the West Virginia Potomac State Catamounts 3, the Sussex County Skylanders 0. We're going to be right back with second quarter action live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network right after this. No, not at all. And we're back here live at Palmer Field, the campus of Newton High School in Newton, New Jersey, as the Cutting Edge Sports Network brings you the Junior Lacrosse Game of the Week. It's the Catamounts from Potomac State out of West Virginia with a 3-0 lead over the Sussex County Skylanders. Dan Cleary, along with Kid City assistant coach and Sussex County sports legend, and a legend in other ways too, my friend George Morville. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday morning here in Newton. Two evenly matched teams. Both have wins over Williamson Trade. Sussex comes in with a 1-2 record. Catamounts with a 1-1 record, but they have the 3-0 lead. Wiley Thunderhawk with a goal, Christian Darnell with a goal, and getting the third goal was number 17, Gavin Keniston. Sussex has not yet scored, but they haven't had a lot of opportunities because of a lot of turnovers. That's been the bugaboo, George, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, and there you see it again.
Scooping up the ground ball is Mason Bowler.
Opportunity right off the bat.
Unsettled, Keniston goal.
Unforced errors again.
Second goal of the game for Keniston. They pushed their lead to 4-0 right out of the gate to start the second quarter. The Catamounts doing some nice things. And that's a great boost for them, and it's got to be a little demoralizing for Sussex after you talk between quarters. This is what we want to do.
Exactly.
We got possession, and you turn it over, and then unsettled. Keniston has shown a lot of skill around that cage, a lot of different arm angles.
Oh yeah, and also, I mean, face-offs. We only won 2 so far, so we get that ball, we have to do something with it, no question.
And a ground ball win there. Good job by Bruno. So Sussex will get to possession. This is Parisi. Swings it back to X. On the doorstep, shot.
Oh, off the pipe.
And off the pipe, and we're going to have a flag.
Head.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Sussex will be a man up their second opportunity. I guess not a bad penalty there because he was on the doorstep.
Yeah.
As Jake Cristiano takes the shot, gets knocked down. We'll see what the call is going to be here. We'll get the official call here. Going off will be Bentley King, number 20. So second man up opportunity. Be a 30-second technical.
They got to get a shot off this time.
Right. Last time they waited, and then the minute it went even strength, they unfortunately turned it over. Officials are now going to talk it over. Are they going to change that to a minute? The penalty is illegal check in the back, 1 minute. So not a technical. So a full 1 minute penalty. As they're explaining to head coach Jacob Morris, but when we start again, it'll be another man up for Sussex. You got Waldron out there, Bruno, Grant Parker, John Parisi. Conversation still going on between Morris and the officials. John Kuntz, the AD, stepping over.
When a referee says, now you're pissing me off.
It's time to be quiet.
Basically,
go walk away.
That's saving a penalty. All right, keep your mouth shut, sit down, and let's go back to the game.
Right.
I've only had that said to me like 7 or 8 times.
Per game.
And I'll tell you what, being a ref in any sport is difficult. And when you have everybody, standing 10 feet from you while you're standing there, no matter what you say, they hear.
No doubt.
Locked in now. He got an extra. Even if we score, we stay on the field.
All right, so
And that's what getting mouthy does.
non-releasable. So even if Sussex scores, as Coach pointed out, they will keep it.
Yeah, this is the type of thing. It gives you a little incentive, and it's time to go.
They trail 4-0. This would be a perfect time for them to get on the scoreboard in the man-up situation.
Up top, and how about a rip?
Parker won't be afraid to shoot if he can get his hands free. Bruno gives it up. They're really not making the
One more
Catamount slide
pass.
so much.
And that one pass right there is what they need. He's got to be coming out quicker.
Yep. He's got to move it a little bit quicker, make that defense slide, right?
Yep. Either that or go back to war on him because they're really favoring that side.
8 seconds to go on the shot clock, so we need a shot here for Skylanders. Broke it up. No possession, so yep, shot clock does expire. There was no possession, so the clock continued to go. So we'll be even strength. And we'll have another flag. And it will be on Sussex, I believe. Yes, it will be. So we'll see what the call
Trying to
is.
figure out what I don't know what that one was.
I didn't see it either, to be honest, Coach. But the Catamounts have it now. Bentley
Trying to
King
wrap.
stopped by DeSiglia. And that should stop the clock for the moment, and we'll see what the call is. Parisi looks like he's heading off. Delay game on Sussex. Parisi will go off for 30 seconds, technical.
All right. So what happened? Remember when he made that long pass immediately?
Mm-hmm.
He was within 5 yards, and you're in when there. Delay a game because you have to do it again or take it down.
So the Catamounts will be up a man, their first man up situation. Rip taken, DeSiglia with the save, and we'll see if they just kind of hold this.
On a case like this, the coach is saying, don't take that shot from 12 to 15 yards when we got a minute to play with.
Vinorski with a long pole trying to clear. The Pope John graduate gets through.
Doing a really nice job.
He had a great career over Pope John, again helping them win that HWS. And we're going to be even up. Parisi will come back on, and Sussex will go to work with just over 12 minutes to go here in the second quarter. You're live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Dan Clear along with George Morville. Thanks for joining us on a Sunday morning. The Catamounts, the visitors from West Virginia, doing a nice job. With the 4-0
Their
lead.
polls are really strong. I mean, everything they've done so far, the polls are really pushing people away.
You got Crispin, you got Bowler, and Gavin. Look, Gavin Kent's a short stick.
And you can just see it right there.
Yep.
They're constantly on the bottom of that stick.
And Cole Burrows back there. Sussex with a little token ride here, nothing big.
And again, with this many subs, you're not
Yeah,
really working on your ride.
Exactly.
You got too many other things to do.
Offsides. Sussex will get it back. In that Maryland-Virginia game yesterday, Virginia likes to do the 10-man ride.
Yeah.
And the long pole from Maryland, 60 yards away, opened that.
Over
a
top
laser.
of them.
It was a laser. So needless to say, Virginia stopped doing the 10-man ride after that. Catamounts on the possession. They've had the majority of the possession time today, and they have the advantage on the scoreboard. They have the advantage on face-offs as well. King.
At this point, they just need, 80 seconds at a time, use 65, 70, working the ball around, then take 15 for a goal.
Nice dodge and a shot and a goal, and that's Wiley Thunderhawk, his second of the game. 5-0 our score. with 10:36 to go here in the second quarter. There's a nice little dodge there by Thunderhawk.
With no slide.
No slide. Now, it sounds simple, but the key here for Sussex is not to hang their heads. They got to keep
Absolutely.
battling. There's a ton of time left in this game.
Yeah. I mean, it's 10 minutes left in the second quarter. Plenty of time to change this around. You get one at a time.
Starts here, though. Starts the next.
Yep.
Bruno's going to take this for Sussex to try his chances.
I might have slid a pole out there to go against him just so, 'cause as he's turning, you can slap it back off the other side.
Battle here, and a good job coming out with it is Bruno.
There we go. We needed that one.
He'll swing it over. Is that going to stay in? No, that'll bounce out. Work it back to the keeper, Lundqvist. I agree with you wholeheartedly, George. The polls have been the story today for, for West Virginia, Potomac State. Bowler brings it up with the long pole, swings it over. Kendison has 2 goals today, trying to break it up, and there's a nice job defensively. Ball still loose, ground ball, will roll back to the keeper, DeCiglia. And he'll wait and swing it over. He gets it to Merlino, thinking for a long clear, and he overshoots Candelaro. Brady Crispin picks it up clean. That's a nice ground ball win. And immediately in the transition, left all alone, shot and a goal. And Mr. Kendison with the hat trick.
Classic. Fast break, 3 passes. It doesn't go any better than that.
Now bolstering that score to 6-0 at the 9:44 mark. Bruno will come out against London again. Won the last one. So as we said, it always starts here. If you're down, you got to win these faceoffs, and they won the last one. Just couldn't get anything going.
He moved his right leg there before. Should have.
Battle for the ground ball.
From behind.
Should be Sussex possession, and it will be. This is Bruno. Sussex looking for its first goal of the game. They've been shut out for the first quarter plus here with 9:30 to go in the second. Nolan Waldron swings it back up top. Bruno converted long pole due to the injuries to Cody Cooper and Blake Dipple.
Again, I think that's really what's hurting them right now is they're being made to make errors. I mean,
Right.
No question that they're putting a lot of pressure. Poles are in their hands constantly, but they got to either push off a little bit so you can get some separation, or they're going to be, taking it all day.
A little pressure here put on by Cristiano, but no problem there for Bentley King. He gets it over. The Catamounts will get into their offensive set with 8:45 to go. And they've done a nice job working the clock.
Mm-hmm.
And they have the 6-0 lead. Obviously, a lot of time left, but they don't need to force anything.
No, and they're getting really good looks when they're getting them. I mean,
Yeah.
like that. Nice save.
And Sigley with the stop. Taking the rip there was Wiley Thunderhawk. He's got 2 goals. Battle for the ground ball. And Catamounts will use their second timeout with 8:14 to go.
With a fresh 80 seconds again, so that's a good time to take one right now.
Thanks for joining us here on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Check them out on social media. Matt Gizzy, the owner, Kid City guy, local guy. So check them out. And I want to thank Arthur J. Gallagher Insurance, George Moorville, a big part of that. So how's it feel back coaching, George? It's been how many years? When was your last year as the head coach, Kid City? Was that in
2014.
14,
Yep.
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, coaching with John Lade has been an absolute pleasure. This guy does not miss a beat.
No.
I watch him break down film. I watch him, the intensity he has when he's speaking to you. He's not speaking at you. He's speaking to you. You can see it.
Mm-hmm.
And he's probably the best coach I've ever worked with.
Wow.
Yeah.
You've worked with some good ones.
No question.
Well, All-American and Big East Defensive Player of the Year at Syracuse. He's got
Yeah.
the pedigree.
Yeah, he does. And he can still bring it. I mean, he had 8 years with the professional circuit and did really well down there. He just had a little baby, settled down in Sparta. So he'll be here with us for a long time.
Rip saved by DeCiglia. Well, you got the program going in Kid City, and then Gordon came in, took it over, and then had to leave for family stuff. His wife got a job, I believe, down south.
Yep, and Galloway was just outstanding. There we
Shot
go.
And a goal, and getting the goal is Jake Cristiano. Sussex is on the scoreboard.
That makes a difference right there, okay? We can do this.
So 7:50 to go here in the first half. Jake Cristiano, the freshman, and you've been around lacrosse a long time, George. Goals come in waves sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
But again, not to beat the dead horse, it all starts right there at X. And Bruno's done a nice job the last couple of face-offs. Because London had his way in the first quarter.
That's a push.
And a whistle. And the Catamounts will keep the possession. They get their personnel on, including Wiley Thunderhawk with the 2 goals today, along with the 3 goals from Gavin Kennison, the sophomore from Sugar Hill, Georgia. And it's just great seeing how the sport has grown across the country, George. We
absolutely.
talked about the hotbeds, Long Island, Maryland, the Syracuse, New York area, New Jersey, and then all the private schools. Now, I've always said, and other coaches, if it ever takes off in California and Texas, forget about it. But there are baseball states right now. Turnover. On the turnover, Schaefer, good job of getting back defensively by Sussex. Hey, Colby Plotz from Sparta scored a goal the other night, a game I watched last Sunday.
Oh, yeah?
Jacksonville against Utah. Utah, a new program.
Oh, there you go.
So Colby all the way out there, the Sparta product. He was terrific. Shot saved by DeCilio.
Another great save. I mean, he's taking shots from 7 and 8 yards almost every time. Real good reaction.
That was neat. That was on the CBS Sports Network. Got to watch that last Sunday night.
Oh, okay.
I think a big part of the growth of lacrosse in the western part of the country, broken up by Chrisman, is Coach Tierney and what he's done at Denver.
Oh, when he went to Denver, it changed the
everything.
whole way the states. All of a sudden, people are going west to play lacrosse, and they never thought we would see that.
Absolutely. Coach Tierney had an amazing career at Princeton. National titles there. And Steve Benita knows Coach, and it was telling me, I said, why did he go to Denver? He goes, he has family out there. Very simple answer. His family's out there, so he went out there. You think
he changed lacrosse. He really did.
Absolutely. A good buddy of mine is the assistant girls soccer coach at Denver, Chris Pete, one of the best athletes coming out of Sussex County. He's good friends with Coach Tierney. He says he can just sit and listen to him for hours, just on coaching in general.
Yeah.
Not just lacrosse, just coaching young people.
I had gone to some clinics early on when I started, and just listening to him and watching the way he, treated kids and taught. He didn't force it. He taught them how to do it. Now, it was pretty impressive.
And he does real well recruiting Canada.
Yeah.
Native American population up there.
There's just no question. The Native especially the Thompsons.
Oh.
They have just brought
Yes. Was there any more
the,
fun
the
watching the
swag
Thompsons?
to lacrosse. I mean, the stuff they've done, you dream as a kid to see if that could ever happen.
Sussex trying to get on the board here, goes through, and that will roll back.
He's offsides.
And they're not going to call it because there's no possession possibly, but they'll come back, and getting is Blake Mackey. Just gets rid of it. And a timeout called by Coach Manita with 4:44 to go.
All right, another good possession. Try to get at least a good, solid shot.
What the Thompsons did for Albany. I mean, that's not a big school in the big scope of things. And they were just tremendous. But it's great to see how much the lacrosse has grown. I remember when you were coaching with Pat Brennan, he said back then when he first started, there was maybe 50 or 60 schools in the state of New Jersey that had lacrosse.
Yeah.
Now it's about 280.
Yeah.
That's not that long ago, probably 20 some odd years, maybe. And he used to say, boy, they used to have to get on the bus and travel everywhere because there was no local teams.
When we had it here, really didn't have a field. So we always went to Pingree, Petty, Blair, all the private schools, Princeton Day. You had to go to them. They weren't
coming up to Sussex
They
County
weren't
to
going
play
to
you
play
guys.
us. No. And the one time they did, they were so disappointed with our field that they said they'd never be back. And we were a little more physical than they were, and we were used to playing in the mud.
I think if you had turf, you'd be in the mud with Coach Larry Beatty. and assistant coach for sure, Art Benedetto, right?
Artie was, he was the last year my brother was there. He was the head coach.
Okay.
He was the first one to replace Beatty.
And back then, only Newton and Sussex Tech had teams, correct?
Yeah, I coached with Frankie Filatico over at Tech for I think 2 years, and of course, the connection with Filatico and Mount Olive and Fellini, that's his nephew.
Right.
So
out of the timeout, we'll see what Sussex comes up with. This is Bruno, sends it back to X to Parker, trying to feed it out top to Waldron.
That was a force right there.
Good job winning the ground ball by Ryan Wilson, who's checked in number 5 for the Catamounts. Catamounts just maybe one extra guy than Sussex, but that matters.
Yeah.
Bentley King's been terrific today, number 20 for the Catamounts. He sends it back out to Wiley Thunderhawk. He's going to wait. 53 seconds to go on the shot clock. Again, thanks for joining us here live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Dan Cleary, along with Kid City coach and Sussex County Hall of Famer George Morville. Waiting here, Trent Jolly. Starts to get into it, dumps it off. Lefty rip, and a goal, and that is Nick Schaefer.
They're doing that skip pass and getting through. Goalie has about a 10% chance on that. And they're inside 6-7 yards.
Now, on Ben, again, a lot of time left, but on paper, this looked like it would be a very evenly matched game with the similar scores.
Yeah.
And Sussex, although they're banged up, rested. They haven't played since the 10th when they lost that heartbreaker to Union. And Williamson played Friday night. Catamounts played Friday night against Williamson. So, hats off to Potomac State as they have the 7-1 advantage with 3:41 to go here in the first half, live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. And you don't see it in camera range, but the glamorous side of being an athletic director on the junior college level, John Kuntz is getting the balls that went under the fence. Such a sexy job, right?
Yeah, and John's happy to do it, man.
He's one of the best ever to do it. He's in the Sussex Hall of Fame and has been named the Athletic Director of the Year several times by Region 19 and on the national level. The godfather of Sussex sports, John Kuntz. He started the basketball program with a van and hitting all the local playgrounds. Hey, you got any eligibility you want to play? And they've built it up to what Sussex has now. They have a ton of sports and very competitive on the Region 19 and national level. All started with John and the late Bill Connor, who was president of the college. We'll have a flag. Dr. John Connolly, very sports conscious, the president now at the school.
John's doing an incredible job growing the community participation from the college, and you see what's going on at the rebuilding.
Mm-hmm. They've added buildings. They got the old McGuire Chevy building.
Yeah, McGuire's. You can have
well,
the whole cafeteria program there, along with the automotive program.
on the doorstep, and another goal. Yeah. On the man up with the goal, Bentley King. So our first special teams goal of the game. King makes it 8-1 with 3:25 to go. The McGuire building, was that the old JR Roof building?
Yeah.
A long time ago. Yeah, boy, my first.
They got the mechanics works are coming out of there. They also have the cafeteria program, the chefs program. So they're going to open up, I believe, a little breakfast place down there, so they can start not only teaching but being a part of it.
No, it's a great place to go, not just athletically, academically.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And you don't graduate with a mortgage.
And they're also working, for the community. I mean, Thor Labs, helping out all the time, and they see what they need, and they say, look, we'd like to see this, and they're putting the classes in and really making something out of it.
No doubt. They're trying to make Newton into a college town.
Yeah.
Getting everyone involved. Thor Labs is a great community member.
They're
great neighbors.
They could not be more giving than they're just incredible people. Philanthropically, they're involved in many different areas, and they just do, what's best for the community.
Carmine Lesko, I believe, still over there, does a great job. We're going to have a penalty on the Skylanders, pretty obvious one on there, and it'll be a man up for a minute. So last time Catamounts were in the man up, they punched one in. And again, we talked about when you don't have depth and you're playing a lot of man down, that takes out a lot of your legs.
It sure does.
Rocket doesn't get through. Taking the rip there was Darnell. He scored a goal.
They've worked the inside so well. I don't think they're going to be able to take 20-yard shots. That goal is just too good.
And the goals that, I hate to say DeSiglia has given up, he hasn't had a chance.
No. The ones that are inside 5 yards, just doesn't happen.
Stay here.
It's not even 50-50 when they get that close.
Rip. Nice save,
Another good save, yep.
Nice dodge, shot, and a goal, Bentley King.
2 yards away, and it's too much.
So back-to-back goals for Mr. King, and it's 9-1 with 2:18 to go here in the first half. So everything going with the Catamounts' way. They scored within the first 2 minutes, Wiley Thunderhawk, and they haven't really looked back since.
No, they haven't.
They've controlled the possession. They've done, although Sussex has done better on the faceoffs here in the second quarter, they've controlled that area. And they've cashed in now twice in the man up. We'll go back to X.
And you got a break right off the bat.
Good job by Bruno. Dumps it off. Shot Cristiano just goes wide. And it will be a good job getting back there. It was Nolan Waldron because the keeper made a good effort there. Lundquist.
Yeah, he did.
Bruno with the dodge. Doubled up. Seems like the Catamounts, whenever they get the chance, George, they're going to double the ball to get another
Absolutely, and they're doubling right off the feed.
Trying to get rid of it, Bowler. Gets it over to his fellow long pole, Brady Crispin. Burrows, Crispin. And have done a great job back there. Another possession for the Catamounts. They have The 8-goal lead with 1:30 to go here in the opening half. Live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Dan Cleary along with George Marvell. Thanks for joining us on a Sunday morning. First day of spring. Might as well be out doing a lacrosse game.
Absolutely.
I know you're waiting for trout season to start.
Yeah, as soon as I get this arm to work, I want to get back to fly fishing again.
You'll be back. You will be. I know that's one of your favorite things in the world.
Yeah.
And a turnover there. So good job by the Skylanders. We have a minute to go.
And you can see right now the legs are starting to burn. Because these guys are putting a lot of time in.
Big hit
That's
there.
from behind.
And
Yeah, with possession. Well, all 4 flags went down, so that gives you a good idea.
Well, flag day here. So this is a huge opportunity for Sussex. They have 52 seconds. If they don't score, then they'll have the ball to start for 8 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
1 minute body checks going off is Gavin Keniston. So chance here, Sussex in the man up. See if they can get a goal. Their lone goal scorer is Jake Cristiano. So Bruno will start.
And there's no urgency here whatsoever as far as keeping possession.
Right.
You know, if you get a shot, get it in the last 7 to 8 seconds. If it's not going to be a clear shot, just hang on to it and get the ball right away on the second half.
No doubt. Parisi and Bruno were up top. They sent it back to X. That's Waldron. Sends it in, getting a piece of that. Again, to coach's point, those long poles have done a great job. That was Ryan Wilson that time. 16 seconds.
Still ours. And this no need to force that pass at that point, too. I like to see Nolan take one.
Cristiano shot. Goes
Just
wide.
That's a good shot, though. That's what we need. 7, 8 yards out, taking those. 4 seconds, just hold the ball.
Parker will hold it, and they'll have the ball to start the third quarter with an 8-second man up. So 1 half in the books here at Palmer Field, campus of Newton High School. Region 19 men's lacrosse game of the week. Our score, the West Virginia Potomac State Catamounts with a 9-1 lead over Sussex. We'll be back with third quarter action right after this, live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. And we're back live here at Palmer Field, the campus of Newton High School. As the Cutting Edge Sports Network brings you the Junior College Lacrosse Game of the Week. And it's been all West Virginia Potomac State Catamounts as they have a commanding 9-1 lead over the Sussex County Skylanders. Region 19 action here at Newton. And we want to thank the Cutting Edge Sports Network. Check them out. Go to cssnetwork.net. You'll see everything there. You can go check them out on Instagram and all that. And growing company. And want to thank George Morville, back in the saddle, coaching at Kittatinny as an assistant. But we were able to coax him out to come and do a college game today, which is awesome. George, your thoughts on the first half?
Well, there's no question that fast breaks has made a big difference, getting the ball in tight. You know, the average shot that's scoring is between 4 and 7 yards. I mean, can't say anything to the goalies. Well, there again, there's the first shot, and it's 3 yards away. Still amazes me that you only have 3 subs and these guys are still running their butts off.
Absolutely. Leading the way for West Virginia Potomac State with the hat trick is Gavin Kennison, Wiley Thunderhawk with a couple of goals as well, and Bentley King with 2 goals. Sussex lone goal from Jake Cristiano, the Pope John product. So the first few minutes of this third quarter, huge for Sussex. They want to get back in this one.
Yeah, and I think I would look for short sticks. You know, try to get a short stick on a short stick and let them do some dodging, because right now it's been difficult. The Poles have been all over their hands and really done a great job. And I'd say the Poles are the difference in this game right now.
I agree with you. They've been tremendous for the Catamounts. We're going to have a slash, and that'll be on Mason Bowler, so another opportunity here in the man up for the Skylanders. Be a great way for Sussex to start this third quarter. We're just a minute plus in. Again, I want to thank Arthur J. Gallagher, company George Morville is involved with.
This would be a big start if they could pick one up right away.
Parker sends it over. You can hear the communication, and there's a great job reading that by Cole Burrows. Unsettled.
They're just going to wait and run this penalty out. They have no interest whatsoever to do anything else.
Smart lacrosse right there. Candelaro comes off the bench. King's there. Good communication. Just like right on cue. You hear the long poles out there, and they force the turnover. So they'll hold on to this. They're down a man with possession. So less than 10 seconds away, and we'll be even strength. And they'll release from the penalty, and Wiley Thunderhawk will come on.
Anytime you don't at least get one shot, you know, you want to get something going there. We had an opportunity.
And the Catamounts have been very patient in their offensive sets, as Coach pointed out, to get all those pretty good shots.
Yep.
The long distance ones, DeSiglia's done a great job on.
And there's another one. Just
shot in the goal. They're going to wave that off.
Coming from behind. 3 to 5 yards out.
That's Thunderhawk. He gets the hat trick.
And a slash along with it.
12-12 to go here in the third quarter. If you just joined us, we were talking earlier about what a great job Steve Manita, the former Chatham coach, Mercy College and Manhattan College coach, did last year at the Dirty Dozen, winning the Region 19 championship as they were able to beat Deltec 21-11. Matt Skanklifor was a big player on that team, along with Grant Parker, who's back. Don Fellini was the player of the year, co-player of the year, and offensive player of the year. He had 18 goals and 10 assists. Griffin Rhodes on that team as well. Brian Curley, the Vernon product. But when you have low numbers and you suffer 2 injuries to Cody Cooper and Blake Dipple, 2 outstanding players, that kind of hurts.
Yeah.
So the Catamounts on the possession. They have a 9-goal advantage. Thunderhawk will come on. He's got 3 goals today. He sets up right on the crease. It went through, trying to swim through dodge.
Yeah,
Good job.
That's a difficult. Trying to get through 3 guys with a swim isn't going to work.
Ground ball finally scooped up by the Skylanders. They try to clear it out. Bruno tries to get on the hop. That'll come back.
Again.
And George, to your point, these long balls, they don't miss a ground ball.
No, they don't.
This is Thunderhawk. Shot and a goal. So right at even strength. The penalty had just expired.
And again, on the doorstep. As a goalie, you got to bat him 1 second reaction time, and almost impossible.
So 11-1 their score, so that will be technically even strength. But King gets his third, so he joins Thunderhawk and Kennison. They have scored 9 of the 11 goals for the Catamounts today, who've been terrific. Making their road trip up to the northeastern part of the state from Kaiser, West Virginia. They beat Williamson Trade on Friday night. And in good position right now here against Sussex on Sunday now afternoon.
Let me ask you a question. I don't know the answer to this one. Do they have a running clock in college?
I don't believe they do. And the only reason I say that, and I'll try to find that out, is a good question, because when they played Genesee State last year, it was 24-0. I don't know if they had the running clock when they lost. We can check that out, though. On the high school level, I believe it's 12-goal differential on
12,
the boys and
yep.
10 on the girls.
Yep.
It's a 10-goal right now. Right on the doorstep. Great save by DeSiglia as he robbed Kennison trying to get that 4th goal. Another ground ball win there by Cole Burrows.
This is when the legs really start to burn, too.
No doubt.
You're on offense. You're taking your time. Poles are sliding as every chance they get, and they're just back and forth.
King swings it back up top over that Sussex zone. Trying to make a run here. Trent Jolly bounces through. On a great pass and a good job defensively by the Skylanders.
That was Thompson-esque there.
Yes, it was.
Three straight shots, back, forward, back.
Great job defensively there by the Pope John grad, Vernorski. They'll work it back to DeSiglia. Blake Mackey tries to get rid of it. Gets it to Vernorski. Again, as we said in the first half, whenever they get a chance, the Catamounts will double the ball.
Yep, and they've done that this whole game, and it's been the difference.
Good hustle there by Cristiano, but still going to roll out. And Catamounts will get it back. They'll work it back. Got a new keeper in there, Jared Foster, number 42. So only allowing the 1 goal was J.T. Lundquist. So a new keeper in there for the Catamounts, Jared Foster. A trick shot there again. Save made by DeSiglia.
I'm sure Coach doesn't mind when he's got a 10-goal lead,
right.
and then you can do that stuff. But otherwise, and again, you see him firing on the doubles.
When I talk about Steve Benita, when he recruited and coached Pat Hodap on the college level, and you remember Pat at Jefferson
yeah.
All the different arm angles he had. Played for Scott Reed, and the guy that played for you, Kevin Nissel.
Kevin, just
shot goes wide.
He was one of the best we have.
Just all different arm angles, just such a superior athlete.
And again, real student of the game, really looked at it. Played hard. Now he's got a business going on and doing a good job with it. he had to walk away from coaching because he had too many people to train.
Right.
So, that's good to see when the kids can do that.
So Parker has it. And all the great kids have come out of Sparta. Stelios Krudos playing at Villanova. And Russell Eberding now at Stevens Tech. He was at Army.
Oh.
And he's at Stevens Tech as their face-off guy.
All right. What did he end up, like 85% his last year?
High school-wise, yeah. Unbelievable. I mean, I've seen some good face-off guys. He's the best I've seen. There's been some good ones. Dane Armstrong was tremendous.
Yeah.
The Squanty kid from Lenape Valley was very good. And shot clock goes off. And Jesse West, remember Jesse West? Part of the triplets is Everding, Stelios, and he is a social media influencer now out in California.
No kidding.
And he's doing all right for himself.
Good for him.
He went, I believe it was Lehigh, left there, went and had a real good year at Montclair State.
Mm-hmm.
And then the social media thing took off for him. But those three were just amazing to watch. Tyler Met did a great job with that program.
Oh, absolutely. That was one of their best teams.
Oh,
no
doubt.
question.
Well, they went out and played in the bigger division. They played Mountain Lakes, Dumbarton. And they went 500, and Tyler was trying to explain. He goes, I had to sell that to the parents. Listen, we're not going to go 21-1 anymore against the Pooley schedule or even the Riz division because we're playing the big dogs now. And they held their own.
Yep, they did. Very much so.
And it just seemed like Chatham always had their number. It'll come all the way back out. Tyler did a great job. As we said, Sean Patterson,
over and back.
The new coach over there, Park Regional. Sussex trying to get on the scoreboard here. 6.5 to go in the third quarter. They're down by 10. This is Parisi. Big guy's got some room. Winds up. High on the back of there is Waldron.
Still a little bit too deep. You're not going to. 15 yards a long way for a goalie to have time, look at it, see where it's coming, even when it's low to high like that.
I was talking to Steve Manita. If he's able to get some of these kids to stay home and he's working on it, they can build a program when you have the kids from Pope John and Sparta, the Kid City kids, the Newton kids. I mean, lacrosse in this county has gotten much better over the years.
No question.
And Morris County's not far away. You know, they can get some of those kids there.
Oh, yeah.
We were joking when I was talking with Manita. I said, Union County didn't play last year, but they're playing this year. I said, if they can get the third stringers from Summit, they'll be a national power.
That's true. Talk about the definition of depth.
Unbelievable. Group 2 school, too.
Every kid better than the next. Unbelievable to watch.
Their defense is second to none. If you could get 6 goals against them, you did a good job.
Mm-hmm.
That's how good that defense has been over the years. So Sussex trying to get something going here with the possession.
And again, the poles have been the difference in this game. There's just no question. Besides the fact that they've been real good underneath.
And a goal there. Parker will get on the scoreboard. So good job by Grant Parker to get the goal. Make it 11-2 with 5:30 to go here in the third quarter. Now, George, I'm sure, and I don't know, we've never discussed this. Did the college ever contact you about starting a program? Your involvement with the school and what you've done for lacrosse in the county? I'm sure that phone call had to be made.
Yeah, we had conversations several times, and actually I gave him some suggestions of other people that I thought would be in there. Kevin was going to take the program for a while. But my love is high school lacrosse.
Right.
Just no question. I enjoy it and have family members play in, and it's just in the blood, you know.
It certainly is. George, the only person in the Sussex County Sports Hall of Fame for lacrosse. That's got to change soon, George. We got to work on that.
I'm hoping.
I think you and I got to get on that because there's got to be some of those kids that played on those Sparta teams that you were assistant coach with, Pat Brennan.
Absolutely.
That would deserve to be in. Long shot. No, wide.
And there's plenty of individuals that should be and will be in the Hall of Fame at some point. I mean, there's a lot of talent up in Sussex County now.
Certainly.
It's not just
Shot at goal. The assist from number 3, Jolly, and getting another goal is number 17, Gavin Kenston. He's got 4.
yeah, absolutely.
12-2, back to a 10-goal advantage with 4:43 to go here in the third quarter. Sussex will call a timeout. And, George, I'm guessing
They're
this
looking for
timeout is a breather. This is not an X and O timeout. This is like, all right, guys, get some water. Let's keep battling, working hard. Because, as we said, George, with the growth of lacrosse in this county, this program can do some great things, and we saw what they did with 12 kids last year.
Yep.
You know, if you give Coach Steve Manita a roster of maybe 25, which isn't asking for a lot,
No.
boy, he could do a lot of things.
No question.
You can't practice as much when you only have enough guys to field the team.
Another thing I learned from Lade this year was, I mean, last year we were the upper 40s, maybe low 50s in numbers. This year we're 28, 29 because we lost a huge
COVID.
COVID and a big senior class.
Mm-hmm.
But what I see from him, it's about reps, not time.
Right.
You got 28 kids instead of 56. Each kid's getting twice as many reps.
That's true.
And watching the way he goes through the progressions in a practice, there's not 1 second that is missed. Couple times this year already. We're supposed to be at 4:45, 5, whatever it is. 4:30. We've had more reps than we've ever had ever.
Again, this is a program. Hopefully, it'll continue to be on the rise. They're hoping some big things this year and be competitive in Region 19. Today's been a tough one for the Skylanders, but they'll bounce back. They're tough kids, and Stephen Need is one of the best in their business.
Yeah, he is. And there's no frustration.
Nope.
When you're in this position and 3 subs and not having the day they were hoping they're going to have, they're still working. Each one of those kids is working hard.
Yep, and they win the face-off there. Bruno dumps it off. Could be an opportunity here. Rip and a
There
goal.
we go.
Cristiano with his second. But that was all Bruno got that going.
Yeah. He's still good speed, too.
Mm-hmm. He was a long pole last year, part of that good defense. Talking to John Kuntz, the athletic director, Sussex County Hall of Fame, before the game. They're in hopes of bringing back women's lacrosse here. They tried it, didn't get a full schedule or a full complement of players. Harry Shortway,
Right.
another guy who's been very big in promoting lacrosse in Sussex County out of Vernon. He was the coach, but it just never took off. But girls lacrosse in the area, and we have a violation, and that will be Sussex possession. If they can get women's lacrosse going, because there's some very good women's lacrosse programs up here. There's a shot and a save. I mean, Sparta girls, unbelievable what they do.
They have been incredible. Coach Brennan, she just amazing what she did.
Yes, indeed. She's coaching at Morris Catholic now.
That's what I heard. Yep, I'm glad to hear that.
Yes,
she is
the
one
sport needs her.
Special athlete, good coach, good person.
Absolutely, she might be a better person. The failure to advance. You watch, Morris Catholic's gonna.
They'll
jump right
change.
through.
They'll change the whole
Culture.
mold of what it's like.
And I think of Morris Catholic, a Kittatinny product, and a buddy of mine, Nick DeGennaro, win a state title with the softball team down there.
Yep.
He's got everyone back. I saw Nick, he coaches football at Kittatinny as an assistant. He's real excited about the season at Morris Catholic. So they've been getting some great – that's a school that people should keep an eye on. It's a small parochial or non-public. I'll still get used to non-public. They're parochial schools. So Sussex.
Yeah, Nick is just so good at not only analyzing the game, but playing the game and being able to pump kids up. Really proud of him.
He did a great job here at Sussex County Community College. He had that team as a Region 19 power every year. And he was able to keep the good kids in Sussex and Warren County He got that the Player of the Year a couple of years in a row from Belvedere.
Yep.
Came to Sussex. So and then he went on, did a great job at Jefferson. Now at Morris Catholic. But getting back to the girls lacrosse in this county, I mean, Vernon for years had some great players.
Yeah.
Jess Mills, one of the best players ever to come out of the county, is now back at Vernon as an assistant coach to Steve Carlson.
And that's great to see.
That's what the sport needs.
Yep.
Come back home and build that program up. We got 3 minutes to go here in the third quarter. It's been all West Virginia Potomac State with a 12-3 lead.
Watch the sneak again coming out.
Taking his time here with the big lead. Not going to force it. Trent Jolly trying to feed the crease. And good job by DeSiglia. Quickly tries to clear it. With a little lead pass there. And a collision between the same team, Parker and Vinorski. And again, if they don't get the first ground ball, George, they get the second. These guys scooping them up. Trying to clear it out is Ryan Wilson.
Good hustle.
Yep. And again, when you have the short bench, as Sussex does, having the lead is paramount because you can take time off the clock in your possessions. You're not climbing that hill to try to get back in it. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. With the dodge, hands free, shot goes by. Taking that was Nick Schaefer. Swing it back up top to Trent Jolly. Skip pass.
Yeah, he's got a short stick, so you want to get it to him.
Jacob Ritchie trying to get that matchup. .125 to go here in the third. With the move in the middle. I don't think they were looking for Kennison, but almost got to him.
Almost got to him, yeah.
And on the backup, good hustle there by Nick Schaefer. Stay here with the Catamounts. 14 to go on the shot clock. Are they going to reset it with a play on? Okay, so 60 to get a fresh 60 there. So a minute 14 to go.
Pinch it out again.
There's a ground ball rip.
Good save.
Yep, good arm angle, and DeSiglia wrapped that up. Kennison with 4 goals, King with 3, Thunderhawk with 3. 10 of the 12 goals scored by the Catamounts. Jay Cristiano with 2 goals, and Grant Parker with a goal for Sussex. Broke it up in the middle. Good job there by Darnell.
And again, the unforced errors are hurting.
Behind the back save.
You know, we had this conversation yesterday. Little brother and I, we had a couple shots were tried to be made behind the back in a practice game, and we just got that feeling it doesn't happen.
Right.
If you put it in the net, we'll always, give you the high five. If you don't, I think about 8, 10, 12 extra sprints.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's like when the guys try to dunk in hoops.
Exactly.
If it's not there, if it's not 100%, don't do it.
And especially, I mean, when you're in a close game.
Right.
And you know you're going to bury it straight on.
We have a flag beyond the Skylanders. And they'll break that up. That should stop play. Mackey. And there's the horn. Third quarter in the books. So a big game thus far for the Catamounts from West Virginia Potomac State. They have a 9-goal lead, 12-3, live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. We'll be back with fourth quarter action right after this. And we're back live here at Palmer Field, the campus of Newton High School, as Cutting Edge Sports Network presents the Junior College Lacrosse Game of the Week, Region 19 clash, and it's been the old West Virginia University Potomac State Catamounts with a commanding 12-3 lead as we're about ready to start the fourth quarter. And they'll start with possession because right at the end of the third quarter, Sussex was flagged for a penalty, so they'll have another man up. Thanks for joining us here on a Sunday afternoon. Catch some lacrosse, and then you can go home and watch some NCAA March Madness.
There you go.
Just get a little lacrosse.
And that has been madness this year.
It certainly has. How about Jersey representing with St. Pete's?
Unbelievable. People are asking, where is St. Pete?
Located there, the little campus in Jersey City. Shaheen Holloway, their head coach. I was telling someone the story before. I saw Shaheen Holloway in a scrimmage against Pope John many, many years ago when he was playing for St. Patrick's. And Pope John had the possession 10 times, trying to bring it up the court. 9 steals for Holloway and 1 turnover. So
I'm in a bracket pool, and I think there's 80-something people in it. Nobody had St. Pete's.
No, I don't think
Gee,
who would
imagine that?
against Kentucky out of the gate. That's the beauty of that tournament. So Sussex trying to run some time here. So, George, take us into the huddle. What does Steve say between quarters? Obviously down 9. It would take kind of a miracle to come back. Is the kind of thing, let's win the fourth quarter?
Yeah, 1 goal at a time. Yeah. At this point, good possessions, good smart plays. Don't try to do anything you can't do. You know, just do what we do. And if it works, then that helps. And the other thing is discipline.
Right.
You know, you really learn the discipline of what's good. And
got another flag, another behind-the-back shot taken
Yeah.
by Gavin Kennison. He has 4 goals. Wiley Thunderhawk with 3 goals.
and he'd probably have 7 goals if he wouldn't try to go behind his back.
And Bentley.
And that's my point.
Right.
You know, I never tell somebody you can't do something. But when it works, it's beautiful. When it doesn't, it could cost the game sometime.
And again, as we said, with a 9-goal lead, I think he's got the green light. Steve Menita's looking at why they're sending Parisi off. So a man up for the Catamounts. Bentley King with 3 goals. Jake Cristiano for 2 goals for Sussex and 1 goal for Grant Parker.
And every one of their man-ups has been inside 3 to 5 yards.
They've been able to break down the Sussex defense. Tough shot. And that went in. That's a goal.
Well, that was with no angle whatsoever. That was a great shot.
And again, that was Bentley King. He's got 4 goals. Wow. So push that advantage to 13-3. And George, we got confirmation, no running clock in the college level. So
it's good to know.
13-3 is our score. And we'll head back to X where,
You know, getting back to how much it's grown, you know, you've been a large part of that. And every person that has put this program together that you have and the people you're working with, you've promoted sports. I mean, you've brought lacrosse into Sussex County, and I don't know if I ever told you that or not.
oh,
but
wow,
this
that's
is, this
pretty
has
high
meant a lot to
compliment
us.
considering everything you've done and Harry Shortway and a lot of other people. I'm very privileged that I've had the honor of telling the stories of all these people and calling games. It's a sport that I became familiar with many years ago, which I knew nothing about, but guys like you and Harry Shortway showed me the ropes, and I've fallen in love with it. It's a great game. I would have played it if we had it in high school. I was a terrible baseball player. We'll have another flag. They're starting to pile up now.
Yeah, now it's frustration claims. You know, I mean, hey, this happened, and I didn't do it. Yeah, you gotta be careful here.
In West Virginia, but Potomac State, I guess probably 10-hour ride home down Route 81, maybe a little bit shorter.
Yeah, it's a lot easier taking that ride when you win.
Oh, yeah, when you come, and you know what? He goes back to campus. How'd you do up in Jersey and Pennsylvania?
Yeah.
I came back with 2 wins, guys. They have the 10-goal advantage. The officials still talking about it.
They're seeing whether he's gonna non-releasable.
So going off is Candelaro. So another man up. Again, folks, go to www.cesnetwork.net. Check it out. Cutting Edge Sports Network, live local sports. Plus Gizzy Productions. They shot off the pipe.
That's a bullet from a long way out.
Matt does a great job with that. Does a lot of lacrosse tournaments. He's nationally known for his production company. So check out Gizzy Productions as well.
And they're moving the ball around
Yeah, they
really
are.
well.
There's a rip and DeSiglia with a nice save.
And, you know, he's done a good job today.
He
really
certainly
has.
has. This could be a lot worse than 13. Sussex trying to get it over. They do. That's Bernarski. Another good job of those long poles. That's Cole Burrows.
Just throwing the ball into space, too. You know, that's something, it's a smart play.
Merlino and the release after the 32nd on Parisi. And that'll get past. Tough turnover there.
Tough turnover, and after, 45, 50 minutes of running?
Yes.
Very few breaks.
Yep. Not much left in the legs in the tank. But you know this Sussex team will battle right to the final buzzer.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
This is Cole Burrows.
And it's not easy to be on that side of it. You know, you still got to play one play at a time. Let's get one more goal, something, you know, pick up the team, pick up the spirit, and avoid the penalties.
So waiting, being patient here, Gavin Keniston. 50 seconds to go on the shot clock.
And I think coach is looking right now and saying, you know, don't do anything foolish.
Goes one-on-one. Keniston will dump it off. Still plenty of time on the shot clock, 33 seconds. Oh, nice move. And the goal, and that's Bentley King, his fourth.
And
Check that, that's his fifth.
And they saw that. There was a short stick covering in the crease. Great shot.
So the Catamounts making their trip to the northeast part of this country worthwhile with a tough win over Williamson Trade and an impressive effort today against Sussex. Obviously, the favorites in Region 19 right now, Delaware Tech, as they have two big wins over Sussex and West Virginia Potomac.
Who they have coming up next?
Sussex will host Hudson Valley on April 3rd here at 11 a.m. And Potomac State will play a very great program, a nationally ranked program, not in Region 19, but Anne Arundel out of Maryland. But they'll play next week. And again, it speaks to the growth of the sport that a junior college in West Virginia, not known for lacrosse.
Yeah.
And they were starting to build a sport there. I mean, once you see it and you start playing it, how can you not fall in love with it?
Oh, that's day one. That's what Beatty told us years and years ago. Once you pick that stick up, you will never walk away from it again. He was absolutely correct.
No doubt. It's got all the complements of the other sports, you know, hockey without skates, soccer, basketball. It incorporates all that, and just a great sport started by the Native Americans many, many years ago.
And it also picked up a part of the country and, you know, great educational institutions.
Yes.
You know, when you hear the Princetons and the Dukes and, you know, and play against everybody. It's really been something.
I mean, arguably the first 50 years of the sport on the collegiate level, and you could maybe make the same argument now. On the doorstep shot and a goal, and fourth goal for Wiley Thunderhawk. You can make the case that Jim Brown was the greatest lacrosse player.
Still to this day.
Do you think so? Okay.
Yep, still to this day. And one of the first introductions to seeing him when Beatty got a piece of film, and I forget what it was, whether he was in college at that time or whether he was 1 year before college, but they showed him and they changed the whole game. You were no longer allowed to cradle against your chest.
Right.
He was the person that did it. No one could stop him, and he just barreled over people. And I looked at that 12 or 13 seconds snip, and you just saw this guy could do anything he wanted to anyone at any time.
And he did.
And now, did he have the stick skills of everybody else? Who knows? But he didn't have to.
No, he didn't have to. And had a great career of football and played lacrosse at Syracuse as well.
And now you got the Thompsons and the Gates and, I mean, just technicians like no one's ever seen before.
Ball pops loose. Another ground ball win. And it goes in. And that'll be an own goal against the Catamounts. I think the last person to touch it was Candelaro, so I guess you give him the goal there. So Candelaro had a score. 15-4, our score with 1:9:29 to go. You'll take it?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it was a monster player I got to see in the high school level and then followed a little bit. It was a kid from South Jersey, LaPierre, who played at Virginia. Oof. He was just a monster. And Jason Cabinda, who I got to see play for Hunter and Central.
Mm-hmm.
And went on and played football at Penn State, but he was a great lacrosse player. I believe he's still in the NFL right now. I think he's with the Las Vegas Raiders, if I'm correct.
Okay.
But Cabinda was tremendous. They played Vernon in the HWS Finals. He was a man amongst boys.
Yeah, and you know, when you see that come along, it's just amazing when somebody is that much better. I'm forgetting his name right now. We talked about him earlier from Jefferson.
Pat Hodak.
Hodak. That kid could do anything.
He was a magician with the stick.
Yeah. Never knew where his shot was going to come from. Was it coming from his shoulder, his knee, his foot? I mean, he just had so many different angles.
Every time I do a Jefferson game, I always remind Scott Reed, Pat was looking for his 100th goal. And it was a tight game up at North Warren. I was doing the game. Hodap scores. The wily veteran, Spence Willard, was coaching North Warren. He asked for a stick check. He was only asking for a stick check because shot and a goal. Cristiano's got the hat trick. He's coming up limping. That's his third goal, makes it 15-5, and that's exactly what Sussex does not need, another injury. I didn't see it happen. Legs kind of gave out on him.
It looked like a cramp at first, but it doesn't seem that way.
Well, hopefully it's nothing major. We're going to step aside, folks. We'll be right back. And we're back here at Palmer Field, campus of Newton High School. Jake Cristiano just scored his third goal of the game. Looks like a apparent knee injury. Hopefully he's okay. He's being tended to by the Sussex support staff. So we wish Jake the best. And as we said before we went to break, no one needs injuries, but when you're shorthanded as Sussex is without Blake Dipple and without Cody Cooper, and now you're going to take one of your top attackmen out. But next man up, got to step up. So 15-5 our score. Story I was telling before the injury, Pat Hodap was going for his 100th career goal. Late in the game against North Warren, he scored it. Spence Willard, the wily veteran from North Warren, called it timeout, a stick check. And lo and behold, the stick was illegal. But Spence called the timeout to steal it, asked for the stick check to steal a timeout. There's a rip and a save by DeCiglia. And Scott Reed just yelled over to him, he goes, I know you're in the Hall of Fame, but how'd you know that stick was illegal? And Spence kind of just laughed. But Pat made up for it. He scored the game-winning goal in overtime, and Jefferson beat North Warren that day. North Warren had some great players then. Bobby Chayka, Joel Vanderwall.
Yeah. Some
very good players that Coach Willard had. But that was Pat Hodap. Kevin Murphy was a tough kid to play lacrosse. Great football player for Jefferson. And I think the hybrid football player, lacrosse, John Figarelli from Sparta. Went up and played at Ithaca. Yeah. Figs was tough. He was an All-American. Chad Steinetz played at Manhattan. Yep. He was another great player. So 7.5 to go and 50 on the shot clock. The Catamounts, there'll be no rush. They'll have an enjoyable ride down, most likely Route 81 into Virginia. West Virginia, excuse me. Thunderhawks had a great game. He weaves his way through, and DeCiglia with the save. No one picked him up.
No, and you know, he only wants to go left. If I'm in that position, I'm forcing him to go left. Okay, you want to go that way, go that way, but don't give that open.
Right. We'll stay here with the possession. Thunderhawk with 4 goals. King with 5 goals. Keniston with 4 goals.
Nice save.
DeCiglia. Coach Steve Manita very high on him being back in the cage, as we said at the top of the broadcast. He had a terrific high school career as a goalie. Came here, and they made him a midi because they had Colin Miller already, the great goalie from Jefferson. And talk about a team player. He said, all right, I'll go play midfield. And he goes out and gets all league honors. Long rip. Another save by DeCiglia, taking that rip. Number 3, Trent Jolly.
And I mean, his outlet passes are outstanding.
Merlino sends it up. Big collision, and going down is Bentley King. He's going to bounce up. Both players. King's going to come off. 15-5 lead. No reason for Mr. King to be out there, and right now maybe have him sit the final 6, keep everyone healthy.
Last thing he wants an injury at this point.
And no doubt. Walking in, a big save.
That was a great save.
Wow, one-on-one, robbing Nick Schaefer.
Good ball movement.
Again, folks, if you're interested in playing lacrosse and want to go to Sussex County Community College's webpage, sussex.edu. Steve Manita, the head coach, would love to hear from you. You can contact John Kuntz. A great place academically, financially, and athletically. They've really expanded the men's lacrosse team a couple of years ago. They have baseball and softball in the spring, men and women's soccer and football. Football coming off a great first year. They played in the spring. Shot hits the pipe. They played in the spring last year and then in the fall, and Todd Polgerstorff did a great job. Got a lot of local talent on that team. So you want to play football, contact Todd. Frank Vernacchio coaches both the men's and women's teams. They've been region powers for the last few years. He does a great job. And Junkers was telling me one of the fastest growing sports is esports. But it's, I don't want, it's video games, right? I'm a little old for that, but that's a huge thing, and you get money to play esports.
When I did the application for the accent coverage for the athletes. And you had to list all the sports. And I get this note. Okay, in esports we got 28 kids. What? What is esports?
Unbelievable.
And it was actually accepted. I mean,
well, it's a recognized scholastic sport, and it's one of the fastest growing. You got to watch out for that gamer thumb.
Yeah. Not going to be a lot of broken legs in that one.
No, let's hope so. Full contact esports. Broken up there by Lou Marino. Merlino's been a ground ball machine thus far.
He's done a nice job. And I tell you what, these guys are in shape. There's no question. They're still giving it everything they got.
They certainly are. But again, Sussex.edu, folks, it's a great place. Beautiful campus. Great academics. And the cost of higher education just growing every year. It's not a bad decision to go to Sussex and then go to a great school for your final two. They have a great partnership with Centenary right now, where like the football players that didn't grow up in the area, they live in the dorms over there at Centenary. So a lot of good stuff going on at Sussex, folks.
And you got an administration that wants to make it work, and they're creative and buying into the township. It's all working. It really is.
It certainly is. And many, many moons ago, George, I took some classes to finish up my degree there, and I was in a trailer in the parking lot of Sussex Tech. They didn't even have the then Don Bosco campus. So it was the school without walls back then that goes
absolutely.
Through. And they've come a long, long way, and it's because guys like Dr. Connolly, Bill Connor, who passed away, but he really got the college going. John Kuntz, some great people that believed.
I believed that it could and will happen.
Mm-hmm.
My son Ryan, he got his first 2 years there, went on to Rutgers and was able to really get the education, and it started with the ability to play,
Absolutely.
The ability to be there.
A great nursing program too.
Yes.
So 2:30 to go, 2:35, excuse me. So Sussex will fall to 1-3. They'll have a couple of weeks to get ready for Hudson Valley. Hopefully they'll be a little bit more healthy. I think Cody Cooper, coach, told me he's done for the year with the fractured finger.
Yeah, I talked to him earlier. He said similar to last year, about the fifth or sixth game, he had gotten hurt, and he was out for the last couple of games there too.
Bruno takes a shot, literally, on both ends. He takes the shot and receives one. He comes up limping.
He's just about out of bodies.
Shot by Parisi goes wide. Jared Lebuvic, from West Milford, he's out there. Gary Stoll, the head coach at West Milford, does a nice job. He played at Vernon for, I think Mike Bochuk was the coach then, but Harry Shoreway got him on his staff. Nice save by the keeper there, Jared Foster. Yeah. Bochuk was Vernon coach. He played at Montclair State for Spence Willard.
There you go. Early on, when we first started our program, Spence gave me a call and said, look, you want to come down and play us a couple times? And that invitation was much needed, because nobody wanted to pick up this new guys that had nobody that had ever played before. And he gave us an opportunity and really appreciated it.
Spence, I believe, started the program or was one of the earliest coaches at Princeton High School.
Yes. Yep.
He's in the Hall of Fame. So 1 minute to go. So, George, your overall thoughts about what you saw here today? I mean, obviously the Catamounts came in, played on Friday, not much rest, and, boy, they didn't show any rust.
No rust whatsoever. Both of them, 3 and 4 subs, that's all there is. That's a little push. I just love the fact that we're playing lacrosse, college lacrosse, Newton High School. Coach is doing a great job. Hate to see injuries, especially when they're 2, 3, 4 kids now. But got a long way to go. Couldn't be any better. The way they're building that program, building this program, and all the sports programs.
Parker with a shot save. As a guy that built the program on the high school level, you at Kittatinny, it's one brick at a time.
It is. It is. A lot of good
And they have a good
parental
foundation.
support, too.
They have a good foundation, Sussex. They have a
Yep.
great coach and a great administration. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, and I can't thank John Coons enough. I mean, he has been a good friend for years and just great man for the program.
No doubt. Again, as we said, he started off with a van, picking up kids to play basketball. Now look what they're doing now.
Yeah, and I hadn't heard that story. That was pretty good.
All right, so the Catamounts from West Virginia, Potomac State, are going to come up and pick up a couple of wins against a Pennsylvania team Friday night. Williamson Trade, and they posted a 15-5 win today over Sussex. So I want to thank my friend George Morville. Also want to thank Arthur J. Gallagher for sponsoring tonight. Also the Cutting Edge Sports Network, Matt Gizzi. But so don't go anywhere, folks. We're hoping to have Coach Manita and maybe a Skylander come up here and talk about the program. So we'll be right back here live on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. And we're back live here on the Cutting Edge Sports Network with head coach Steve Manita from the Sussex County Skylanders and goalie Joe DeSiglia. Tough game today. Your thoughts about what happened today?
We just got to find some offense, you know. That's been the story of the season so far, but we're really lucky to have Joe in the goal. Our defense is a little inconsistent, but, you know, they're there helping us out. We're doing it with 14, as you can see. So I think, you know, once this program becomes a little bit bigger and we build a little bit more, it'll be a little bit easier for us. You know, I can't ask for better effort from these guys. So, you know, just another learning experience, I think, for the program itself.
Obviously, with the injuries and numbers, you came here as a goalie but played midfield last year, now back where you naturally like to be in goal. But just talk about when you don't have the numbers, how everyone's got to step up, and that's what you've done.
It's really just keeping your head in the game, not giving up on it, realizing that we're short on guys and that we all got to get through it together, and just doing the best we can to try and get close to a good win.
Now, last year you guys went on the miracle run with the Dirty Dozen, as coaches like to call you guys, winning the region title. How big is that to get this program going in the right direction? I know you're from Long Island, but there's a lot of good lacrosse, obviously, in Long Island. But Sussex County is starting to get a little bit better. It's making some waves. Talk about how that foundation hopefully will build this program.
Yeah, last year was great. I mean, with having only 12 guys, it was crazy to do what we did, and I mean, everybody definitely enjoyed watching us. We fought through the whole season. But as far as the program goes, I think it's just a great look that with that amount of guys, we were able to fight through the season and make our way through the championship.
Steve, you've built programs before on the collegiate level. Here at County College now. You've been at Manhattan. You were at Mercy. You had a great career at Chatham. Talk about building this program, what you need to do.
It's just, you know, just like when you're in the hole in a game, you know, it's not going to happen all at once. You just got to go one goal at a time. And that's our, you know, the motto right now. We're just trying to get one at a time. We're trying to build it the way that it's supposed to be built. We know it's not going to happen overnight. You know, like right now, like Matt Bruno is playing midfield for us, and he was an all-region defensive player last year. You know, Joe's the best goalie in our region easily, and he was one of our better attackmen last year. So you're just doing whatever you can to continue the process, right? And, you know, like I said, you can't ask for much more from the guys. They're really putting the effort out there. And guys are doing what they can for the team, and that's all I can really ask for.
Well, you know this area extremely well. Morris County, you coach the Chathams. Your kids play there. Yep. Now you know all the teams up in Sussex. Yeah. There's enough talent in this area to make this a Region 19 power every year. Talk about that process of picking up the talent from here.
Yeah, it's just little by little, watching guys play in the summer. You know, I think guys are making the right decision, and, you know, they want to stay, get their associates, get their 60, and save a ton of money, and it makes them more attractive for the four-year schools. You know, a lot of guys that are on the team right now went to four-year schools and got to wherever they were, and this is not for me. So, and they came back, and now we have them now, and hopefully we'll continue to develop them, and, you know, that's where they're going to get some playing time, and that's how it works.
And just the rest of the season, you got a lot of lacrosse to go. This was a tough one today. You play Hudson Valley in about a week. What are your thoughts?
Just got to keep fighting, make sure everybody stays focused, and try and get to another win.
Stay healthy. Get some bananas for these guys, right?
Yeah, we need everybody we got.
That's right.
Well, guys, I appreciate your time. Yeah. Best of luck the rest of the season.
Yeah. Thank you.
And hopefully we get the sport get going here at Sussex County Community College. We got the right man to lead the charge here, and Coach Steve Manita, one of the best around. All right, that's going to wrap up our coverage here from Newton High School on the Cutting Edge Sports Network. I'm Dan Cleary. I want to thank Cutting Edge Sports Network. Also want to thank George Morville from Arthur J. Gallagher for sponsoring the game. And we'll see you again soon. I'm Dan